Hi friends, welcome to the channel JIB and CIB Made Simple. So if you are preparing for IIBF certification examination in IT security, you are at the right place because in this video we are going to discuss memory based question along with their answer. So these memory based questions have been collected from the recently conducted examination in the month of January, and I will provide you not only the question but also the clear explanation for each and every question, and most often chance is that they get repeated. And I request you to please join our Telegram channel. In the description section of the video, link is provided to get more such topics from where question have been asked. Right, so let's get started. I hope you will try to answer the question on your own first and then listen to the explanation. So the first question is on your screen. Which of the following is not one of the 5 principles of COVID-5? Right, option A, meeting stakeholder need. Option B, implementing automated IT process. Option C, enabling a holistic approach. And option D, separating governance from management. So friends, let's explain what this question is all about. So what do you think the correct answer? The correct answer to this question is option number B, that is implementing automated IT process. Why? Let's break down. First of all, option A saying that meeting a stakeholder need. Imagine you are running a bank and your customer, employee and regulator all have different expectation. COVID-5 ensure that IT service align with business goal and meet everyone need. Just like a restaurant ensure good food, quick services and hygiene for the customer, IT governance ensure a smooth operation for all stakeholders. So this is indeed a principle. Let's see option number C, enabling a holistic approach. Think of an organization like a human body. If one part fail, the entire body suffers. Similarly, COVID-5 promotes a holistic approach, meaning that IT governance should be well connected and considered all aspects like security, like compliance, or efficiency. It is not just about one area, it's about the whole system working together. So this is another principle of COVID-5. Let's look at option D, separating governance from management. Think of a school. The principal, principal is like governance, right? Principal you like governance, and the principal set the rule, and teachers, they are the managements, right? The teachers implement them. In IT governance ensure policies are set and management ensure those policies are followed. So COVID-5 clearly define these two roles, preventing confusion and improving the efficiency. So this is another principle of COVID-5. But if you look at the option number B, it says implementing automated IT process. See, while automation is very useful in IT, but it is not a core principle of COVID-5, because if we talk about the COVID focuses on governance and management, right? It focus on what? It focus on governance, it focus on management, right? And ensuring that IT support business needs effectively. Automation may be a good practice, but it is not one of the 5 fundamental principles. So let's summarize the fact which we have just covered in this particular MCQs. And the first point we have covered that COVID-5 is based on 5 key principles: meeting a stakeholder needs, covering the enterprise end to end, applying a single integrated framework, enabling a holistic approach, and separating governance from management. So these are the 5 principles of the COVID-5. You must note it down. Next question we have is, which of the following base describe the inherent risk in the context of audit risk? So which of the following base describe the inherent risk in the context of audit risk? Option A, the risk that an auditor failed to detect material misstatement in its financial statement. Option B, the risk arising from the nature of the business or transaction before considering internal control. Option C, the risk that financial statements are misstated due to fraud by management. And option D, the risk that auditor express an inappropriate opinion due to insufficient evidence. So friends, what do you think the correct answer? What is the question is, which of the following base describe the inherent risk in the context of audit risk? So the correct answer to this question is, first of all, let's see each and every option. Option A suggests that the risk that auditor failed to detect material misstatement in financial statement. So basically, if we talk about this risk, this is called detection risk. This is not called audit risk. This is called detection risk. Why? Because this is the possibility that auditor may miss error or fraud, right, while examining financial statement. So think of an examiner checking answer sheet. If they overlook a mistake, that is detection risk, but that is not inherent risk, right? So you have to decide which is called inherent risk in the context of audit risk. Let's see option number B. For example, let me give you one example to make it more clear. Right. So now option B, if we talk about the risk arising from the nature of the business or transaction before considering internal control. Yes, this is the correct answer. Right. Why? Because inherent risk is the natural risk. Remember, if we talk about the inherent risk, it is the kind of natural risk. Right. It is kind of natural risk that comes with a business or transaction even before any internal control are in place. So even before any internal control are in place, right, if any risk arises from the business or transaction, this is called inherent risk. Let me give you one example. For example, a bank deal with high value transaction. Suppose a bank deal with a high value transaction, right, daily. It has high inherent risk. Why this bank have a high inherent risk of fraud or error compared to a small grocery store? Similarly, a tech company investing in volatile cryptocurrency, they have also higher risk than a stable manufacturing company, right? So that is why this option is correct. What about option C? The risk that financial statements are misstated due to fraud by management. This is wrong, because if we talk about this risk, this is called the fraud risk. This is called the fraud risk, which is a type of inherent risk, but not the definition of inherent risk itself. If the company top executive manipulate financial report to show higher profit, that is fraud risk, and that is not necessarily an inherent risk. And if you look at the option number D, the risk that auditor expresses an inappropriate opinion due to insufficient evidence. So this refers to audit risk. This refers to audit risk, which is broader and include detection risk. So audit risk include everything. Audit risk include detection risk. Audit risk includes control risk. Audit risk include inherent risk, right? So that is why it is broader, right? That is why it is broader. So basically, if an auditor does not gather enough information and still gives an opinion, it increases the risk of wrong judgment. So what we learned from this discussion is that audit risk is a sum of three kind of risk, right? Inherent plus control plus detection. These are the three risks which are the part and parcel of the audit risk. Inherent risk means what? Inherent risk means the natural risk due to business type or transaction complexity. Control risk means what? Risk that company's internal control fail to detect or prevent error. And detection risk means what? Risk that the auditor failed to identify mistake during the audit. I hope this explanation make the concept super simple for you, right? So this is all the points about audit risk. Friends, if you are looking for a study material for this certification examination in IT security, we have a special course for you. As you can see on our app, the link of app is provided in the description section. So you can see the content of this course. I have added the unit wise theory and MCQs PDF and previous year question. As you can see, it has been arranged module wise. In the first unit itself, you can see there is a separate PDF for theory and there is a separate PDF for MCQs, right? So as you can see, this is a PDF for theory where each and every concept has been given in a short form in the bullet format, and separately there is a PDF for MCQs where all the concepts have been given in the form of MCQ. Similarly, I have made for all the types of all the units. How many units are there? As you can see, total number of units here is 20, right? So for all the 20 units, there are separate theory PDF, there is separate MCQs PDF, and also there is a separate folder for previous year question that you can see. So if you want to get access to this kind of material, you can either do two things: either WhatsApp me on this particular number, or you install the app whose link is provided in the description section. So the number you can see on the screen, you can either WhatsApp me on this number or on the app. Now friends, let's move forward and let's see the next question that we have. The next question is, which of the following best describe the cloud computing, right? So that is the question. Which of the following best describe cloud computing? Friends, options are the process of storing data, right? So option number A says that the process of storing data on physical hard drive for security purpose. Option B, the delivery of computing services like server, storage and software over the internet. Option C, a networking model that connect only private data center without internet access. And option D, a method of physically transporting data between location using external storage device, right? So what do you think? Let's go through each and every option. First of all, option number A, the process of storing data on physical hard drive. So basically this refers to what we call as local storage. This refers to local storage. It is not a cloud computing. Why? Because what you are doing is storing data on physical hard drive, right? Or suppose USB, or suppose external drive, right? So basically, this is a traditional way of keeping data safe. This is a traditional way of keeping data safe, but it does not provide remote access or flexibility like cloud computing. Let me give you an example. For example, imagine you save file on a USB drive. You save file on a USB drive. You can only access them if you carry the USB with you. But with cloud computing, you can access your file from anywhere, just like how you open Google Drive or Dropbox onto any device. So that is not the correct answer. Option B, the delivery of computing services such as server, storage and software. So basically this is the correct definition, right? Cloud computing allow individuals and business to use computing resource like server, database and application over the internet instead of maintaining physical infrastructure. You can think of the Netflix. Right? So Netflix, you don't download movies, but you stream them directly from the internet. Similarly, cloud computing provides business with on-demand computing power without the need to buy expensive hardware. What about option C? A networking model that connect only private data center without internet access. So this is incorrect, because this describes a private network. Right? It does not describe a cloud computing. While some company use private cloud computing generally involve the internet to provide service on demand. Right? So, for example, imagine a company has its own internal IT system. Suppose a company has its own internal IT system, right? So it does not allow access from the internet. So that is called private data center. This is called private data center, and it is not called cloud computing. Cloud computing, let me give you some example. Cloud service like Google Cloud is there, AWS is there, Microsoft Azure is there. So these use the internet to provide computing resource. So this is not the correct answer. Now the option number D is methods of physically transporting data between location using external storage device. This is incorrect. This refers to offline. It is called offline data transfer. Right? So basically using some storage device like USB drive or hard disk. So cloud computing eliminates the need for physical device by allowing instant online access. For example, if you store movies on any external hard drive and take it to a friend's house to watch, that is the physical data transfer. But if you stream a movie directly from Google Drive or iCloud, that is cloud computing. So the correct answer to this question is option B. Let's summarize the key point which we have learned in this particular question. The first concept is that if we talk about the cloud computing, right, if we talk about the cloud computing, so basically it is computing services over the internet, right? It means computing services over the internet. First point you must keep in mind. And second point is that it provides storage, server, database, right, on demand. It removes the needs for physical storage device. It allows access to data from anywhere. And examples are Google Drive, Dropbox, Netflix, AWS, Microsoft Azure. I hope this explanation helped you understand the concept of cloud computing very easily. Now friends, let's shift our focus to the next question. The question is, which of the following is a primary purpose of software escrow arrangement? Options are to grant full ownership of software to the licensee. Option B, to allow the licensee access to the software vendor source code under specific condition. Option C, to restrict the licensee from using the software beyond the agreed license period. Option D, to enable the software vendor to revoke the licensee access at any time. So what do you think the correct answer? Let's go through first option. It says that to grant full ownership of the software to the licensee. This is incorrect. Why this is incorrect? Because in a software escrow arrangement, what happened, right? The licensee does not get the full ownership of the software. The vendor is still on the right. The vendor has the right. Licensee do not have the right. Right? But under a specific condition, the licensee may get access to the source code. Under a specific condition, this licensee may get access to the source code. Right? Let me give you one example. Suppose you rent a house, but you don't own it. The landlord still holds the ownership. Similarly, in software escrow, the licensee rent or license the software but does not own it completely. Option B, to allow the licensee access to the software vendor source code under the specific condition. So what do you think? Yes, this is the correct answer. This is the correct definition of software escrow, where a third party holds the source code and releases it to the licensee if certain conditions are met. Like suppose if the vendor goes out of business. So you can think of the locker in a bank. The bank holds valuable for the customer, right? And the items inside can only be accessed when specific conditions are met. Similarly, in a software escrow, the source code is stored securely and released only if needed. Option C, to restrict the licensee from using the software beyond the agreed license period. This is incorrect because this describes a software license agreement. It describes a software license agreement. Does not describe a software escrow. While licensing does limit how long a company can use a software, an escrow arrangement is about ensuring continuity in the case of vendor failure. Let me give you one example. If you subscribe to Netflix, your access stops after your subscription ends. But this has nothing to do with your software escrow, which is more about protecting the licensee if something happened to the vendor. Option D, to enable the software vendor to revoke the licensee access at any time. This is incorrect because the software escrow protects the licensee, not the vendor. It always protects the licensee. It ensures that licensee can continue using the software even if the vendor goes bankrupt or fail to provide support. So you can imagine a car lease. You can imagine a car lease where you can continue using the car as long as the dealer exists. If the dealer suddenly shut down, the lease ensure you still get support on ownership under certain conditions. That is how software escrow work. It ensures business continuity for the licensee. So let me summarize the key fact which we have learned regarding the software escrow arrangement. First point is that it is a legal agreement, right? This software escrow arrangement, it is a kind of legal agreement, right? Ensuring access to the source code under certain conditions. Second point, it protects the licensee. Remember, it always protects the licensee, right? By if the vendor failed to provide support, and source code is held by neutral third party. Source code is always held by the neutral third party. For example, like a bank locker that is opened only under certain condition. A software escrow does not mean full ownership, software restriction or vendor control over the access. I hope that make clear the concept of software escrow arrangement, right? If it is, please hit that like button. Now let's see the next question. The new question is what is the, let's skip this particular question. Yeah, let's see the, what does non-repudiation ensure in digital communication? Very important question. Friends, options are that a sender or receiver cannot deny sending or receiving a message. Option B, the messages are automatically detected after transmission, deleted after transmission. Option C, that only encrypted messages can be sent over the internet. Option D, that messages are stored permanently without any modification. So option A, option A is that a sender or receiver cannot deny. Yes, this is the definition of non-repudiation, right? This is the correct answer. Why? Because non-repudiation ensure in digital security that a person cannot deny sending or receiving. A person cannot deny sending or receiving what? Receiving a message because there is a strong proof that they did. This is often achieved through digital signature, encryption or secure logging. For example, imagine you send the email with a digital signature. Later you cannot say I never sent this email because the digital signature proved that you sent it, right? That is called non-repudiation. What about option B? That messages are automatically deleted after transmission. So this is wrong because it describes the self-destructing message, right? It describes what we called self-destructing message, right? So it does not describe non-repudiation, right? So it is all about the proof of communication. It is all about the proof of communication, not deleting message. So if you send a message on Snapchat, it disappear after being read, but there is no proof that it was ever sent. So it does not ensure non-repudiation. Option C, that only encrypted message can be sent over the internet. So encryption ensures message securely and confidentiality. But so basically if we talk about encryption, what is ensure? It ensures message security. It ensures message confidentiality. But non-repudiation is about proving who sent the message, right? Even encrypted message, even encrypted message can be denied if there is no digital signature or authentication, right? For example, if you sent a WhatsApp message, it is encrypted, right? But you can still delete it. So basically let me give you one example of encryption. That encryption, suppose you send WhatsApp message, it is encrypted, but you can still delete it for everyone. This means there is no proof that you ever sent it. So it is a kind of non-repudiation, right? Last option is the messages are stored permanently without any modification. So this refers to what we call data integrity. Right? Not non-repudiation. While storing message permanently can help in security, non-repudiation is about proving the receiver, right? Non-repudiation is about proving the sender and receiver involvement. For example, CCTV. For example, CCTV camera. So CCTV camera recording keeps data safe from modification, but it does not prove who was involved in the event unless there is a proper authentication. So what we learned from the discussion is that, if we talk about the non-repudiation, so non-repudiation, it means ensuring proof of communication. Non-repudiation, it simply means ensure proof of communication. That so that no one can deny it later. Achieved using digital signature, encryption and secure logs. It prevents fraud and false denials in online transaction. For example, signing a contract digitally. Once signed, you cannot deny it. That is called non-repudiation. The primary function of SIEM, that is security information and event management. What is the primary purpose of it? Option A, to provide real-time analysis of security alert from its application and network hardware. Option B, to physically block unauthorized access to computer system. Option C, to store user password for enhanced security. Option D, to replace traditional firewall in cyber security. What do you think? So option A is saying that to provide real-time analysis of security alert from application and network hardware. This is the primary function of SIEM. It helps business monitor their IT system, detect suspicious activity, and respond to cyber threat in a real time. For example, this is the correct answer. For example, you run a bank. If someone try to hack into customer account, So SIEM detects this unusual activity and immediately alert the security system. For example number 2, suppose a hacker is there. They try to log into company system multiple times using different password. So SIEM identify this as a brute force attack and block access. If we talk about the option B, to physically block unauthorized access to the computer system. So this is incorrect, because SIEM does not physically block access. Instead, it monitors, it detects threat. So security guard at the building physically block unauthorized visitor, but SIEM work like a smart surveillance system that watches everything, detect threat and report them instantly. That is called SIEM. Full form you must know: security information and event management. Last, option number C, to store user password for enhanced security. So SIEM does not, if we talk about the SIEM, does not store password. It's designed to detect cyber threat and security breach. So there are some password manager like LastPass. Let me give you some example of password manager. You might have heard about LastPass. You might have heard about Google Password Manager, right? So these store user credentials securely, but they do not monitor security threat like SIEM does. Option D, to replace traditional firewall in cyber security. So this is wrong. A firewall is like a security guard at an entrance of a building, blocking unauthorized people from entering. So SIEM on the other hand is like a high-tech security system that monitor every activity inside the building and alert authority if anything suspicious happen. So what we learned from this question is that SIEM is like a powerful cyber security system that provides real-time security monitoring. It analyzes security alert from application, network, device. It helps detect cyber threat and suspicious activity. It works with firewall but does not replaces them. I hope if you want me to bring the part 2 version of this particular lecture, please write yes in the comment section. If you write yes, I will understand that you are interested to get the part 2 lecture. You are interested to get your conceptual clarity like we have done above. And if you want any kind of a study material for IT security, you can WhatsApp me on this particular number, or in the description section you will see the link of the course that directly direct you to that. It only costs ₹200 for the course, right? And if you want me to bring more previous year question, please write yes in the comment section.